decided to venture a little bit further out from the Acheron ramp, and we are here at a very special secret location, and I'm joined by this guy here who's kind of a big deal in the sailing world.
Shut up.
And rumour has it he's a
Jesus.
bit of a ride on the water. I'm here with Matt Mitchell. 22 questions with Matt Mitchell about the famous Zephyr class. All right, Matty, here we go.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for the stitch up. That's awesome. We're at the Manly Sailing Club, the beautiful Whangaproa Peninsula, which is actually where I started my sailing career, here and in Tyndall's Bay, and I've come full circle, and now we're back here sailing little 11-foot 70 or 60-year-old sailing dinghies. Yeah.
So the Zephyr, we know, is a very special design in New Zealand. Tell us a bit about who created this boat and why they've been so successful for over 50 years.
Well, this was one of Des Townson's many designs. It's sort of turned into a pretty special one for a myriad of reasons, really. You know, there's been some wonderful people sailing this boat and looking after this class over the years, and we're enjoying a special kind of popularity now because it just seems to be ticking a few boxes as far as a bit of a renaissance for old wooden boats, but then it's got so popular we can actually provide a glass boat as well, so pretty cool little class. How
competitive is the fleet? Because I've heard there's some like pretty big hotshots amongst you guys.
Yeah, well, just in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, we've had sort of 6 or 7 guys come in that are pretty handy actually. They're going pretty good and jump straight into the top 10, so that's made life a little trickier for the rest of us, but like they always say, don't get bitter, get better.
So how did you go at the last Nationals?
Oh, I think I was 14th, something like that, yeah, displaced by the 7 places of the new guys, normally a 6th or a 7th, but no, they were good. You know, we had Rod Dawson turn up. He sailed them a wee while ago, but he bought his own boat and he turned up and gave us all a bit of a lesson, to be honest, and a few other new guys in there, Mark Orams and Cameron Dunn, Murray Tom, yeah, all sailed really good. So it was fun racing, but that's not the sort of you know, we're talking about the names in the top 10, but that's not really where the main bulk of our action is, you know. It's in the middle of the fleet where we have our fun and our characters as well, and I think that's why we get 80 boats at a Nationals, is because the racing anywhere in that 80 boats is good fun, you know, and that's the prerogative, is it's just enjoyable.
What are the comms like around the mark roundings?
Yeah, the banter's quite good, yeah, sometimes 8 or 10 deep at a wing mark. That's good times, good fun, especially with a bit of breeze and a few big waves like we had on the first day here at the last Nationals. Yeah, no, the banter's good on the corners.
So tell us about the weight range of who can actually sail a Zephyr competitively.
So you want to sort of be 70 to 90 kilos is sort of the mid-range, and then, you know, obviously 78, 80 kilos would be ideal. And but we have people either side of that too. You know, we have some have lighter and much heavier. So, and they all have their moments. So yeah, it sort of does cover quite a broad demographic in that respect.
And how much hiking do you have to do in one of these things?
It's not like a laser. One of the controls we have is an adjustable forestay, so you can depower the boats very nicely, and I think that's part of the attraction. It's not such a grunt fest. Having said that, with a few of these new boys coming in who were very good laser sailors in their day, they're giving us quite the lesson in how to get upwind in a breeze. So yeah, I'd like to say that hiking's not that big a deal because I'm not that good at it, but it probably matters a little bit more than I want to admit.
We have seen your hiking technique. You probably do need to do a bit of work on it. But anyway, hey, look, Matty, looks like there's way too many ropes on this small boat. Talk us through what's going on here.
Yeah, it's normal stuff. It's just a Van Cunningham outhaul, and then like I just alluded to, the adjustable forestay is a really nice feature because you can just bend the mast and depower the boat, or conversely wick it up in the light. So it really does change the boat, or gives you much more scope to depower or power the boat up, and I think that's helpful with our weight range too, you know, rather than a laser where you just plonk it in and it's fixed. You can sort of, you have a much bigger crossover for body weights.
And what's it like amongst the fleet? Like, is everyone pretty friendly to help each other out? So if someone turned up with a Zephyr and needed some help, you guys are all willing to pitch in?
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and that's one of the reasons I own one. You know, I did my first Nationals in a borrowed boat and was really impressed with the banter on the track and just the atmosphere in the car park, you know. The smiling faces in the car park were a big part of the attraction, so yeah, I love it. I like the people, and the little yachts are really cool to sail, and the racing's fun. You know, whether you're battling it out for the top 10 or 40th or 50th, it doesn't actually matter, you know. It's just an enjoyable way to spend your time, because what we have to, you know, be cognizant of is this: people choose to do this with their free time, and so it needs to be fun, and I think this class in particular does a really good job of that.
So it definitely takes a village to get a class like this going. What's your involvement with the class?
So I've been the president for coming up 2 years now, but you're dead right, you know, we've had some wonderful people involved with this little boat to keep it where it is now over the years, and so, you know, I'm just another adding to that really, and we have a wonderful exec committee that we work together and sort of help make the decisions around the boat, or the class, and look after the owner's interests. But you know, over the years it really has, they've done some really clever stuff with the rules and things like that, and so that's making life now pretty easy really. It's very cool.
So what does it cost to get involved in the Zephyr? Like, how much am I going to have to fork out to get one of these?
Yeah, so entry level, if you want to, you know, sort of aiming at the mid-fleet performance, you could probably get a wooden boat for maybe 8 or 9 grand. I think there was one on Trade Me this week, or Facebook this week, and then that goes all, you know, a proven wooden race boat will probably be 15 to 17 grand, and then if you want a brand new production boat, everything new, we can provide you with all the bits for one of those, and that'll be about 25 grand.
So after a massive day out in the water hiking, I'm talking 25 knots, how much pain is your body in?
Yeah, that was interesting actually. Our first day of the Nationals, the last Nationals, which were here at Manly, was windy in Vietnam. It was big waves and it was a nightmare, to be honest, and it went about 2 races too long for me. I was happy with 1 and I think we did 3. But yeah, you get back in pretty shattered, that's for sure. And we just don't tend to do too much of that. And so you get to the Nationals and they make you do it, it's like, oh, should have done some more practice, but never mind. So that amplifies the bit in the car park afterwards, or especially the next day. There's a few bruises and bumps that probably shouldn't be there.
What kind of courses do you guys do? Windward lewards, triangles, trapezoids?
Yeah, no, we're big on our triangles. So we love to, they reach beautifully, these boats, especially in a wave. So Olympic courses, yep, reasonable length beats. And because we have the other thing we're adamant about, which was really cool to discover actually, was a decision we made last year, because with an 80 boat fleet, the recommendation generally is to split the fleets. And we decided as a class not to do that, because that's one of the attractions, is being on the start line with 80 boats. One of the things you need when you have that many boats and that long a start line is you need a decent length beat so the ley line's not a minute away. So no, we have nice long course, triangle course, run down to the finish normally and go again.
So you have really long beats. How many swear words are you doing on all of those long beats when you've got a hike?
I've been known to tack on occasion just so I could go the other way and give my legs a rest for 10 seconds or 2 seconds or however long it takes to get across the boat.
What's the age range of people sailing these boats?
It's big. So we had one of the Madron brothers, was 77. I think Murray Sargison might be getting up there. And then Sean Herbert was here at the Nationals. I was duking it out with him in the last race for first and second. And how old's Sean? He's 20 years old. And I think there's kids younger than that down in Christchurch, Canterbury and Wellington getting into it. So that's kind of cool too. We're sort of seeing a bit of a change. Because the class is popular and you can depower it, there's no reason for young fellas or chicks to jump in it and have a go, you know.
So if someone does want to get into the Zephyrs, is there a website, Facebook page? How does someone get involved with you guys? Yeah,
all that stuff. We're quite well organised in that respect. We've got Kat Bridges who looks after our Zephyr, both of those portals, and she does a wonderful job. So we've got the Facebook page and the website. All the information's there. You can, and if you find something that's not there, you just need to ring and ask. Ring your local exec member and ask.
So tell us, it's not just about Auckland. Where is Zephyr sailed across New Zealand?
So I think our biggest, you could argue our biggest fleet is actually in Wellington at the moment. I think they've had 38 boats on a club day down there, which is pretty cool. Canterbury's burgeoning. They're 15, 18 boats as well, some weekends. The fact they can go sailing is probably helpful. And Auckland, you know, we're sort of spread around a bit more, but we'll get, you know, 15 boats at Point Chev most Sundays or whenever we have a race day there.
And finally, Matt Mitchell, how good are boats?
Yeah, boats are pretty good.
There's a hashtag, isn't there?
There is.
There's also another hashtag. What is it? Hashtag how good is Matty Mitchell?
No.
So Matt, apart from the Zephyr, what else do you sail at the moment?
Oh, I jump in the Elliott 5.9 with Sadie and Bart sort of once or twice a year. That's been made a bit tricky this year with the old lockdown thing, but That's about it, really. It's just grassroots yachting now, which is cool.
Well, thank you so much, Matty Mitchell. 22 questions worth about the Zephyr class.
Be careful here, be careful.
Well, I was going to say something, but you won't let me.
No.
I'm going to do it.
No. Just do it properly.
Hashtag.
No.
How good are boats?
Thank you. Boats are great.